What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Braden Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick'em plays for, Friday, November 8th, and Saturday, November 9th, and Sunday, November 10th. So we got a lot to get through here. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with the promo code DailyDog. That's DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. Again, that's promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with that code for that 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. Man, Thursday was kind of annoying. We had three really good value slips for Thursday Night Football. None of them came home. We had a lot of picks hit, just not all on the same slips. Hopefully some of the listeners out there were able to cherry pick some picks they liked and make some plays. Just kind of frustrating. Also, the college slip was a little frustrating as well. ECU quarterback Caden Hauser gets 3 touchdowns immediately. And then Aguilar from Appalachian State, he struggled to keep the ball out of the opposing defense's hands. Not necessarily his fault. Some of them were tip balls, but he would have had 2 passing touchdowns if that were not if he would have had 2 passing touchdowns if he didn't throw 2 picks off of his own receiver's hands, I think. But it is what it is. Lots of slips this weekend. I got 7 slips to give you today, so I should probably stop talking about yesterday and start getting into what we've got going on today, tomorrow, and Sunday. So today we're going to hit up college football first. We're going to go Hank Bachmeier, Wake Forest quarterback, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns as they host Cal. Simply put, Cal's got a good defense. I think that this is an absolutely terrible spot for them. I think Wake Forest shows up in a big way in this game, and I think Hank Bachmeier, experienced quarterback, is going to be a reason why. I think he's going to sling it. He's got nothing to lose. Wake Forest needs to win this game, probably. They only have probably 2 more winnable games if they want to make a bowl, and this is one of them. So give me the Wake Forest QB to have 2 passing touchdowns or higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns in this spot. Next, we're going to go to Ethan Garbers, quarterback of UCLA, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns against against Iowa. Newsflash, this isn't the Iowa defense that we've seen for the last few years. Garbers was throwing ropes and dimes at Nebraska last week. I think that's going to continue. If you look at the trajectory of this UCLA team, it was actually heading up before they got those 2 wins versus Rutgers and Nebraska on the road. Now it's time for them to come home and put on a show in front of I'm sure it's going to be a sold-out Rose Bowl on a Friday night. Just kidding. It's not going to be sold out at all. But I think they're going to put on a show, and I think Iowa is going to be embarrassed. This is not the Rose Bowl. They're playing in the Rose Bowl in the regular season here. I think UCLA wins this, and I think Garbers is going to get it done with his arm. Again, he was very accurate in last week's game. I think that's going to keep up. Last one, we're going to go Seth Henigan, Memphis QB against Rice. Memphis gets embarrassed last week. Seth Henigan, prideful and veteran quarterback. I think he's going to throw for 3 passing touchdowns in this game, so higher than 2.5 passing touchdowns against Rice. Rice is not very good defensively. They were able to shut down Navy last week. Flash in the pan. I don't think it's staying up. I think that was kind of the dead coach bounce game for them against a pretty simplistic offense to stop if you're committed to it against Navy. And they did it. So good luck on that. But Memphis's offense is much tougher to deal with. I think Henigan's easily going to get 3 passing touchdowns in this game. So that is an 8.2x multiplier slip. 3 quarterbacks all going over their passing touchdowns. 8.2x. We hit this one. We're having a good weekend. All right. Friday NHL. We're doing everything in one game here. There's a big hyped-up game for the Penguins against the Capitals, kind of a national-ish spot. It's on Hulu. It's on ESPN+. Just all the old dudes getting back together. They're going to pretend like it's 2014 or 2008. I mean, all 3 of the players on this slip between the Penguins and Capitals are older than me, and like they were playing in the NHL when I was like in school, like not college, but like high school. So yeah, that's how old they are. And I think that they're all actually still performing. Ovechkin is having a great year. Sidney, Crosby, Evgeni, Malkin leading the team in points once again. So I'm taking Evgeni Malkin to score a goal, higher than half a goal. Sidney Crosby, higher than half of an assist. Hopefully it happens on the same play, like on the power play. That would be pretty cool. And then Alex Ovechkin, higher than half of a goal. This is a 9.45x multiplier. Old dogs, old tricks. Let's get it done on Friday Night NHL. Evgeni Malkin, Sidney Crosby, and Alex Ovechkin, 9.45x multiplier. Malkin, goal. Crosby, assist. Ovechkin, goal. All right. Friday, NBA. We're going with our man, LeBron James. LeBron James, you heard of LeBron James? Higher than 23.5 points. LeBron and the Lakers have lost 2 embarrassing games back to back. Coach JJ Redick is not very happy. LeBron is the leader. AD is banged up a little bit. I think he'll be back in this game, but I don't know if he'll be 100%. When things go south, LeBron can take over. I obviously think the Lakers can crush in this spot against the 76ers, who are absolutely terrible. They're decimated with injuries and inactives and all that other crap they've got going on. So give me LeBron higher than 23.5 points here for the Lakers, and hopefully a blowout win for my local Los Angeles Lakers. Next, we're going to go to Christian Braun, the wingman for the Nuggets, who was a bench guy in previous years, now playing a lot more than that, as the Nuggets have absolutely no depth. I'm taking him higher than 1.5 3-pointers made in this game. He shot 4 out of 8 last game. Obviously, it's not going to be that same situation here, but I think they need offense wherever they can get it. And Christian LeBron, if he shoots 4 3-pointers, 5 3-pointers, 6 3-pointers, he doesn't have to shoot 8. But if he shoots 5 or 6 3-pointers here, we're going to get our 2. So give me Christian Braun higher than 1.5 3-pointers made here on this Friday night NBA game. Last one, Trae Young, love it or hate him. The dude he's a volume shooter. He usually gives you enough shots in a game to hit your prop. It's just a matter of if his percentage is going to be good enough to hit the prop. So Trae Young higher than 2.5 3-pointers made. This is a 7.06x multiplier. LeBron James higher than 23.5 points. Christian Braun higher than 1.5 3-pointers made. And Trae Young higher than 2.5 3-pointers made. 7.06x multiplier. Friday college basketball. We got Hunter Dickinson higher than 17.5 points. KU is hosting North Carolina at the Fog here, early season game. I think KU is in a great spot at the Fog. I mean, come on. It's like the most legendary college basketball stadium or arena in the nation. Hunter Dickinson is my age? He's 35, 38. He's been playing since the Cold War. The dude is going to be fine against North Carolina, higher than 17.5 points. If he isn't going to be putting up, like 20-plus point games in these spots at home against big names teams like North Carolina, what the heck are you doing still in college, Hunter Dickinson? You've been around, man. I feel like he was at was he part of like the Fab Five at Michigan? That's how old this dude is. All right, Braden Smith higher than 6.5 rebounds for Purdue. He is a much bigger role on this team without Zach Edey kind of loading all of the defensive and offensive, checking all the defensive and offensive boxes for this team. Edey is playing for Memphis, actually kind of an effective player. It's maybe surprising to some people in the NBA, but that's neither here nor there. Braden Smith higher than 6.5 rebounds versus Northern Kentucky. We had that on a slip yesterday, and we can still use it again here because that slip died a sad death thanks to Aguilar throwing picks in that App State game. But last leg of this college basketball slip, Cliff Omoruyi higher than 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists as Bama is hosting Arkansas State. I was looking at just the rebounds here, but I mean, there's not going to be too many guys inside for Arkansas State that can slow Cliff down here. Big Cliff out of the Jersey area. So give me higher than 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Cliff Omoruyi in this spot. I mean, I don't know. He could get 15 rebounds in this game and 9 points or something. But I think that there's a really good chance that he could get like 20 points in 22 to 24 minutes of game time, depending on how hard Bama wants to go in this spot. So give me Cliff Omoruyi higher than 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The college basketball slip for Friday was Hunter Dickinson higher than 17.5 points, Braden Smith higher than 6.5 rebounds, Cliff Omoruyi higher than 23.5 PRA, and that's a 6x multiplier. All right, next up we got Dylan Rizk higher than, this is Saturday college football. Dylan Rizk, quarterback for UCF, higher than 0.5 interceptions. Carson Beck higher than 0.5 interceptions for Georgia. And Diego Pavia higher than 1.5 passing TDs, 6.75x multiplier. And actually, that's not passing TDs. It's higher than 0.5 rushing TDs. Do not play the passing TDs with Paiva. I just wrote it wrong on my notes on my slip. It is a rushing TD prop, or pick, I should say. So This college football slip for Saturday is Dylan Rizk higher than 0.5 interceptions, Carson Beck higher than 0.5 interceptions, and Diego Pavia higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving TDs against South Carolina at home. Home dog scenario for Paiva. Come on, he could not feel more disrespected. 6.75x multiplier. All right, another one on Saturday. Last one for Saturday, UFC. Tresean Gore, fight time lower than 12.0 minutes versus Antonio Trocoli. Both these guys are finishers. Both these guys don't necessarily have the deep fight cardio that you want to expect. I think they're going to be trying to search for a finish because these guys need to reestablish their names in the organization. Damon Blackshear higher than 0.5 submissions against Cody Stamann. Cody Stamann is a very experienced and veteran UFC fighter. I just think that Blackshear's length and grappling ability is going to surprise him. Guillotines when Stamann shoots shots is going to be very available. Carlos Pratas higher than half a knockout last one, main event. Sorry, Neil Magny, love you, you're a legend, but I think Carlos Pratas is going to knock you out here. 8.5x multiplier. Last one, Sunday NFL. Chuba Hubbard, bright and early in Germany. Higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. Najee Harris, alt higher than 79.5 rushing yards against Commanders. Commanders 29th rush defense in the NFL. Najee, big day, probably 100-yard day, to be honest. Joe Flacco, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns against the Bills. Bills defense, not very good. Joe Flacco, bad game in primetime. This is a rebound spot, 10.76x. Let's close the weekend good here. All right, that's all I've got for you. Have a great weekend, and let's make some money.